Hi guys, and welcome from me, CM0102. Today's video is actually a request. It might not be exactly what was wanted. Somebody asked me my views on CM03/04, and they wanted me to do something CM0102 versus 03/04. Now, I'll be really honest with you. I can't really put it exactly into perspective, just because I know fuck all about 03/04, because it's been so many years since I played it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as best as I can, hence the title CM0102 versus other CM series. So after CM0102 there was a split in EDOS and SIG Games, and it was a huge split. You know, it's a bit like a band, I suppose. You know when a band splits up and then they all go solo and they fail, right? You know, like they all completely fail, and we've all seen it, haven't we? And they end up back together or something like that. So basically, So basically, it's just really my perspective. This is why 0102 is the best, because this was the last. It's almost like a movie franchise. It was the last one they made collectively with EDOS, SIG Games. Now, when CM was continued to be created after this, but obviously it wasn't with the collectively with EDOS and SIG Games. So it was, to put this blunt, it was shit. It was really shit, you know, because there's still a lot of stuff that they couldn't incorporate, which was used by one of the other parties, and vice versa. You know, because think about it, I'm going to swear here, but then you've got FM, Football Manager. You know, in my opinion, there's just too much to that. Some people will totally disagree, and they'll say, oh no, Football Manager is as close to realism, much better than CM, there's not enough on the match engine. Well, you know what? You've got to think to yourself, right, this game is well over 20 years old, so the match engine, you've got to think it was 20 years old, so it was never going to be outstanding, but for the time, and you know, and it withstood a lot of football released games, you know, back in that era. So, you know, whilst, I mean, when I looked at Football Manager and you look at players' attributes, they divulged too much, in my opinion. What we have with CM, bear in mind that fourth column there shouldn't really normally be there. I've just put that in myself as a patch. I think that is perfect. You know, that is enough to decide where you're going to play Kevin De Bruyne. You know, the match engine itself. Think back to the Amstrad. You play a game and you'd get instant results. You know, the match engine, for me, it works. Now, maybe it's just my age thing, and it probably is my age thing. On the forums recently, there was a poll, how old is the average member? And I think I fell into the category of the most popular, which was something like 35 to 44. I'm saying that without giving you my actual age, but so it's probably an age thing about what we expect, or what we really want in our games. We don't want too much bullshit like Football Manager. And of course, when the latter CM versions came, they were missing huge parts, and it was awful. I think one of the worst things that I come across was CM5. Now, I played it, I bet some of you didn't even realise that was out there, did you? CM5, and I played it, and I believe, I'm trying to think back, I played it on the PlayStation 2, and it was fucking awful. Oh my god, I was absolutely disgusted with it. And I'm like, oh my god, because you got to think to yourself, there's only so much that those sort of consoles can take, as opposed to a PC or a laptop. And on that note, that's why CM0102 works so well on laptop, because initially it was designed for PC towers. So as computers have advanced rapidly, this game, you know, it becomes a breeze to play. And I don't know, maybe I'm just fucking, you know, I don't want to get with the times. Well, do you know what? If that's the case, so be it. So, you know, they've really gone to town, and they have. Obviously, they've modernised, based on one of my previous videos, they've modernised this version of CM as much as they can but to keep the basics of it. And you know, you've probably seen one of my other videos about as close to real life or using a patcher. You can see the starting year is 2021. You can see that all the players are updated to Man City for the April update. Obviously, there are a few things that cannot be updated, and some people would say, and that's why it's shit. Like, for example, Champions League, the second group phase, which we used to have years ago, which was, of course, the in thing when this game was done. So some people will say, Football Manager has it all up to date and proper and blah, 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 blah. Well, do you know what? Right, there are just some things that can't be sorted. But again, it falls back to, it's 20 years old, let's deal with it, you know. So there are some things. Now, the only reason they can't actually, I say they, the tech supremes, the only reason they can't rectify the Champions League second phase is it's hard-coded, basically. And the people that make it, I think, don't quote me on this, and if I've got any of this wrong, or if there's anything anybody wants to add, throw it down there. But it's something like, the people that have got the rights to the hard-coded stuff, like the second phase of the Champions League, and a few other bits and pieces that can't be changed, they are Football Manager related. So they are not gonna want to release such information that can be edited, that can be changed. Otherwise, because let's be honest, right? If the Supremes managed to change the second phase of the Champions League and reflect it as real life, and made a Europa League to reflect real life, then people would be, well, fuck buying Football Manager, you know. So I get that in all honesty. I genuinely get that. You know, a lot of people, they still persistently say, oh, can't we sort the second phase of the Champions League? And it's, you know, so many people ask it, and it's always the same answer, no. You know, it can't be done. It really can't be done. So, you know, for me personally, you know, I mean, the uncapping of 20, this for me, we'll go back to Kevin De Bruyne, this for me was a bit of a game changer for CMO 102. It's almost raising the bar a little bit, but not massively, where you're playing another CM version or you're playing Football Manager. You know, for example, let's take Kevin De Bruyne. If you were looking for a player with at least 20 off the ball and 20 passing, if I didn't have the uncapping off, I wouldn't know he's a 26 in both of those. So, you know, it is a game changer in my opinion. I think the fourth column of attributes is key. You know, you don't have to have them. It's just my own way of keeping it as updated as possible and enhancing it, but still keeping the baseline of CM0102. 0304 and CM5. You know, they lacked a lot of simplicity. I felt simplicity was lacking a lot. So it you know, it really was a case of stay with my roots, stay with CMO 102, and if you want some real originality, stay with the ODB as well. Or in my case, I have one ODB and one update, as you see. The ODB, you cannot beat the ODB. So if you have got anything to add, guys, throw it in the box down there. If you've got anything you want doing, CM related, give us a shout and I will try and do it. I know I didn't quite do what was requested here of the 0102 versus 0304, but I can only do what I could do. Till next time, guys, take it easy.